bringing you key insights, tips, and advice from the brightest minds in the Canadian franchise industry. This is the Franchise Canada Chats podcast. Welcome to the Franchise Canada Chats podcast, where we take you into the world of franchising. Our interviews are with franchisees, franchisors, and industry leaders who give on-the-pulse expert advice and share their franchising insights and experiences. I'm your host, Lauren. This is Season 3, Episode 3. In this episode, I talked to Dawn Mucci, CEO and founder of LiceSquad.com, the leading head lice removal franchise system with a mission to stop the stigma around head lice. Dawn founded LiceSquad.com in 2001 after she discovered head lice on her son, found that she had very few options to get rid of the pesky problem. Since then, the franchise has expanded to 36 franchise and corporate locations with over 250 service providers spread across Canada. Here, Dawn shares the benefits of being a LiceSquad.com franchisee, how COVID-19 has impacted the business, including some surprisingly severe lice cases, her biggest learnings over the past difficult year, and what keeps her smiling and motivated as she runs the LiceSquad.com brand, and so much more. Enjoy the episode. To start, can you tell us a bit about the Lice Squad concept and what sets it apart?
Absolutely, and thank you so much for having me on the show again. I appreciate it. LiceSquad.com is a head lice removal franchise system. We primarily do head lice care for individual families, schools, camps, daycares, and other organizations that deal with children. Our mission is to stop the stigma associated with head lice and to stop the overuse and abuse of pesticides on children and our planet. So we utilize enzyme cleansers and mineral cleansers to help us aid in getting the lice and eggs out of the hair. And that's what sets us apart, is that mission to not use those toxic type of chemicals and things when we're dealing with that particular issue.
And so what are some of the benefits of franchising with LiceSquad.com?
The benefits of franchising has always, in my mind, been that you're not in business by yourself. You're in business with a group of like-minded people that are, working toward the same goals and have the same aspirations to have a successful business. And it gives you a great opportunity to get a faster start with your business. You don't have to make it up. You already have a roadmap to follow. Your franchisor has been in business prior to you, so they have a lot of knowledge that you can glean, and also they're there to support you and guide you along your business journey. You also have the support and guidance of your fellow franchisees who are also small business owners with you and in the same industry, so they are facing the same challenges and growing pains as any other small business owner. And in franchising, it gives you an opportunity to have those resources at your fingertips to pull from whenever you are running into challenges and difficulties. As well, the brand presence of a franchise company is a lot greater than if you were to start a mom and pop lice removal service or whatever type of industry that you're wanting to get into. You have a greater opportunity to succeed when you come alongside an already established brand who has a great market presence and has the awareness already under the umbrella that gives you that faster start.
Okay, and so what would be some of the specific benefits of joining LiceSquad.com?
The benefits of joining LiceSquad.com is we have almost 20 years of industry experience behind us. We've been doing this longer than anyone else has in this particular industry. We, in fact, started the industry and built it up over the years, so we have a lot of knowledge in that space. We have a lot of brand presence. We have a great deal of products and services that stand apart from any other type of competitive service that may be out there, which there doesn't seem to be a lot of at this point. The other thing that you do get with being part of the Lice Squad franchise system is you have the culture of our company, and that is so critical when you're joining any type of franchise or any type of business. You want to make sure that they have a very positive and supportive people first culture culture where it's actually fun to do your day-to-day job, and you feel supported and you feel important, and that your ideas and your suggestions matter, and that you are part of something bigger than yourself. And that's the type of culture we try to have within our franchise system, because we want to work as a team. We're always considering ourselves the team of superheroes, and we're always putting capes on each other, and doing things that are positive and fun to keep people's spirits high and morale high, and in the engagement part too, right? So that's something that's really important, and that's something that stands out as for us as a company, is people have fun picking head lice. Go figure. People actually are enjoying that. So that's one of the things I think is most important.
Oh, that's awesome. And obviously, all businesses have been impacted a lot by COVID-19 lately. So what impact has that had on licesquad.com, and how have you responded to any challenges?
The impact of COVID-19 is something of a challenge for us, and I'm sure many other businesses. A lot of industries got hit harder than others, and some actually benefited from this whole pandemic. For us, we had to close like many other businesses. We had to adapt to do what we could to support our franchisees by becoming the leaders of finding out information. So being able to pass on relevant and timely information to them so that they could access the supports that they needed to keep themselves educated and able to continue paying their bills, or taking advantage of any type of opportunities that were available to them to help them cover certain costs that they were unable to because of not being open. We were always doing our research and always making sure that anything new that came from the government or from any other resources, that we were on top of passing that information on and making sure that we were leading by example. The other thing that we, noticed is when we were able to open back up, we weren't seeing as many customers, and that's due to the social distancing. But in a sense, the other thing that happened, which is ridiculously crazy, is the cases we were seeing were so severe that we were having more business because of the severity. And I don't know if that makes sense. Less clients, but more severe cases means just longer time that it takes to get rid of lice. And I think what happened was parents weren't getting the support that they needed during COVID, and lice was spreading throughout the family or throughout wherever bubbles were together. And it was getting more severe, and it was harder to get rid of. The other thing too was that lice are on survival mode, so they're going to extreme lengths to survive right now, and thus, being able to transmit through crawling across a floor rather than a head-to-head contact, doing like the survival of any creature. You do what you have to survive, and they're holding on for dear life, and so that's why we're seeing such severe cases. And again, we don't know where this is all going to go, but all we can do is work with is what we have today in front of us. And so we try to remain positive, and we try to remain proactive and innovative, and so that when we are on the other side of this, that we can continue to be a thriving company and being there for our customers.
Okay, and why is it important to put franchisees at the forefront in challenging times like these, and how have you kind of touched on it a bit, but how have you provided extra support to your franchisees?
The franchisees in any system are the lifeblood of the company. I mean, we don't have a company without, innovative, progressive, and engaged franchisees. And obviously, they have their finger on the pulse of the market in their particular areas that they're operating. They look to us for leadership and support, and we look to them for creativity and ideas, and for the same thing in a sense. I mean, a lot of where we are as a company and all of the new innovations and a lot of the things that we're doing differently have come from our franchise system and their ideas and their suggestions. And just and as an example, recently I got an email from one of our franchisees, and she said, the group of us all got together and had a little side marketing meeting, and we came up with this great idea, and we want to do a press release around it, and we want to all pool together and support that. And and I looked at that and I thought, fantastic. That's what I want my franchisees doing. I want them talking amongst themselves. I want them coming up with creative and innovative ideas and solutions and bringing those to me. And then I have an opportunity to help them execute those things. Now, I can't say yes to everything, and sometimes things don't make sense, but 9 times out of 10, I've got a smart group of individual owners, people that are part of this company, and they come to me with some pretty awesome stuff, and I take a lot of that and make it part of our brand and our system. So this whole head lice severity issue, I mean, parents, the last thing on their mind right now is head lice. They're more worried about their kids back at school and transmission of the COVID and all of the things that are stressing parents out right now, their jobs and everything. Lice is the last thing on their mind, and it will only really affect them when it actually hits them. And so we just want to be kind of top of mind for them as a support, and also just to let them know to be on the lookout for the severity of head lice cases, because they're a lot more challenging to deal with right now than they used to be, just due to the given circumstances.
Okay. And so how do you expect these challenges to kind of impact the system going forward? What would you say the future looks like for licesquad.com, and I guess the short term and the long term?
I can't really speak to the future because I only have today. Today we're managing well. Today we're getting by, and we're all operational. We haven't lost a franchise out of the system. No one's had to shut their doors. No one, that's good news. My vision for where I want to see things in the future is that we bounce back from this stronger than ever, and that we thrive. And the next big outbreak will be of head lice, and we'll have more business than we won't know what to do with, and
Sure.
our franchisees will be extremely happy. I'm hoping we can continue to be innovative and create new products and things that speak to parents. So we are in the head lice business, but there's other things that parents need and that we might be able to integrate into our product or service offerings that are in line with that whole caring for an individual, for a child, and environmental care perhaps. And I always err on the side of the positive. If things have to happen, they have to happen, and you have to be accepting of that and where you are, and make the best of the situation. I'd hate to see anybody have to close. I'd hate to have to go out of business after 20 years of hard work, but these things do occur and in life, and sometimes acceptance is the hard pill to swallow. But I am not going to wish that upon any business during this pandemic. I'm hopeful that everyone will find the resources they need, the hope and the strength and the courage to do whatever they need to do to get through this and come out strong on the other side.
Absolutely, yeah. So what would you say your favorite thing is about operating or running the Lice Squad franchise system?
My personal favorite thing is the creativity, being able to use the business as a platform to be creative and come up with like interesting radio commercials or new products or various different like videos, or just adding things into our system. Just that whole creative end of things. That's why, as an entrepreneur, we're all about solving problems and creating things. And that's sort of why I feel very fulfilled by my role as a franchisor, because I get to create. And the other thing I really enjoy is the fact that I'm able to give people the opportunity to start a business, start a small business, and to be in business for themselves and not by themselves. That term gets used a lot, but I mean, I feel a great deal of gratitude that people believed in the vision I had, and that they're able to run a business and support their families because of it. It's icing on my cake, really.
Awesome. So who or what is your biggest inspiration, or what keeps you motivated?
Oh, well, that's a hard question right now. Like I was having a really bad morning, and I'll be honest with you, things are not always rosy and sunny. I try to always be positive. I really do. But I have my moments, and this morning I was having a moment, and I was like, I need to find something to grasp onto, to hold on to keep because I felt like my head was about to go underwater, and then I was about to lose it. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation, but I feel like I'm walking a fine line some days where I could go over the edge at any moment. And
Yeah, I feel like
I
we've
just,
all been there the past few months.
right. And I'm like, God, give me something to hold on to. And well, I guess that could be my answer. I think it's my faith and my higher power that, God has a plan for my life and that there's a reason everything is happening and that I have to just trust in the process. I mean, if I look back at all of my life's challenges and the things I've been through and what I've been able to overcome and surmount, I could just tell myself, it's going to be better tomorrow. It's all going to turn out. It's all going to work out because it really always does. If you really look historically back, things will always work out. Yes, there's going to be pain and hardship and it's not always going to be a happy day, but there's always tomorrow. It's like that song, the sun will come out tomorrow. I just keep trying to repeat that in my head, right? 3 days of this weather is, I think, getting me down. It's been 3 gloomy, rainy days this past 3 days. So that's part of probably why I'm feeling a little down. But my strength and my resolve comes from my faith and hope, and that I know that I'm not in this alone and that everything will be okay.
So definitely a good outlook to have. Okay, and so what would you say kind of the biggest thing you've learned is over the past few months?
Wow, the biggest thing I've learned is that you really just have to take things one moment at a time, one day at a time, one situation at a time. I used to always look at what's going to happen, excuse me, tomorrow, or like I'd look back at what I did yesterday and be all freaked out about it, and what can I do about it? Nothing really. Then I'd worry about what was going to happen the next day or in 5 days, or something was coming up, a big event, and I'm going over it in my head, and I'm really literally driving myself insane. Like, and I finally got it, and it took me almost half my life to realize that all we really have is the moment that we're in, and sometimes we don't have control over it, and sometimes we just have to accept the things that we cannot change and just deal with what we're working with at the moment. So that's the biggest thing for me, is just trying to stay in the moment, not worry, not reflect on the negative, just really focus on the present, and then try to do the best and next right thing that comes in my path. Like just always trying to make the next right decision.
Yeah, I definitely think we could all work on that a lot more.
Well, it's true, and it's hard as a
Yeah.
franchisor, like as a leader, like as a mother, a leader of a family, a franchisor, a leader of a company, or anybody in a leadership position. People look to you to make good, smart choices, wise choices, right? And it's hard. It's a lot of weight on your shoulders to always feel like you've got to make that right choice, or that because it affects more than just you. But I've learned over the years that you will not always make the right choice. It's not about perfection. It's just about progress. And if you surround yourself with really amazing people that are smarter than you, and you have somewhere to go to get like good advisement, then you have a better chance of making those right or sound or good choices for those people that it affects around you. So, I always try to get good advice from people before I do something. And that's the other thing I've really learned, is you got to stop and think before you talk or before you act. And I was so bad for that. Like as an entrepreneur, we're like so distractible, and we're just like we start things without even thinking, and we're like, we're just those types of people. We're action oriented. And for me to learn the art of just sitting in something and having the time to think it through and get good advice before I make that decision or say that thing has been a huge wake-up call for me. And yeah, it's saved a lot of mistakes.
Oh, that's great. So why is it important to focus on, I don't think one thing people maybe have been losing sight of a bit is, why is it important to stay focused on your personal health in times like these? And what kind of strategies do you use to try to alleviate stress and focus on those important things?
Oh, that's a great question, and I'm glad you brought that up because I actually throughout this pandemic have made a lot of real positive lifestyle and health changes. I mean, it's easy to see that people's mental health is suffering right now, and people are falling into, some pretty maladaptive coping mechanisms, and addiction issues are on the rise, and people are struggling to keep it together, and everyone's needing some comfort, and sometimes we turn to the wrong places for that. And I was turning to those wrong places. Like when this first happened, I was just coming back from Cuba, and I was already on a week-long bender in Cuba because it's Cuba. You're on vacation.
Of course.
And then I get back here with my 2 bottles of duty-free tequila, and then I'm on 2 weeks of, what do you call it, quarantine. And so, I found myself getting a little heavily involved in coping with my stress through using, alcohol. And I was having all of these negative thoughts about, is the zombie apocalypse coming? Like my mind was going to these really bad places. And all of a sudden one day I just woke up and I thought, you know what? You've got to be strong right now. You need to be sound of mind. You need to be healthy. You need to be clearly thinking. You need to be strong, and you need to be an example, not just for your kids, but for the people that you're in business with, and your franchisees. They can't look at you falling apart, or your family can't have you falling apart. So I made it. I made the decision one day to say I am actually not going to take a drink. I'm not going to drink at all, and I'm not going to use anything other than trying to focus on being healthy by eating really healthy, by exercising, by actually going to therapy and talking my problems through, by joining support groups with other people that were struggling with the same type of issues. And it's been almost 4 months, and I feel so much better and so much stronger and more capable of dealing with these challenges that are coming. And I have, a lot of people would feel like they couldn't say that out loud to the public, or there's a lot of, I guess people feel a lot of shame in the fact that maybe they were using a substance or they were struggling with their mental health. But for me, I find that being transparent and being able to speak to the fact that you can overcome and you are strong enough if you do the things that you need to do to be strong like that you can help and inspire other people to do the same thing. And I feel so much better now than I did when this whole thing started, because being healthy and physically active and all of those things are required now more than ever, I think. Yeah, it's hard to run a business. It's hard to be a parent. Lots of things in life are hard, but they're harder when you add all those other things that aren't good for you physically or spiritually and mentally. So I would really say that living a clean lifestyle right now is going to benefit anybody who's struggling.
Well, that's awesome, and thanks so much for sharing that. That's definitely, it's great to hear people share those stories. I think we all have a tendency, if you're in a position where you're leading a team, or you're a parent, or you worry about everybody else, and the biggest thing you forget is that you need to worry about yourself to help everybody else, right? And I think some of those like exercise, eating well, they seem so straightforward, but when things are hectic and busy and you're stressed all the time, people forget to focus on those things. And I think we can all do better at that, and I think it will go a long way in helping everybody.
That's true. And I look to other people for those examples. I know a lot of people who are living that lifestyle, and it was inspiring to me. I mean, I've always been active. I've always eaten well. I've always exercised. Like that was my way of coping with having to deal with life. And it was very helpful for me. But there was still some things in my life that I was doing that weren't good for me. And so I kind of look at this whole situation that we're all going through as a blessing in some ways. I mean, there's a lot of horrible things happening happening. And but at the same token, there are some positive things happening. A lot is coming to light of things that can change for the better. There are people that are making life changes or different things happening in their lives that are positive from this. So, I try to look at those positive things, and also the opportunities to be found, because there's always opportunity to be found in struggle.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess on maybe a lighter note, is there anything that you're reading that you're finding really inspiring, or something that you're watching that you find has really been like just a nice release? Anything like that you've been catching up on?
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of these meditation books while they're audio books. So I have my Audible app. I've burned through about like 50 business books because I listen to books while I'm walking. So I really enjoy that. And I'm doing a program with a girlfriend online. She used to actually work for CFA, and she's starting this well, it's not her challenge, but there's a challenge that's starting up. It's called 70 Strong, I believe. It's you're doing 70 days of, I'm trying to find it here on my phone, because anyway, it's this whole theory of trying to do like an hour of exercise, 2 hours of exercise every day, 2 liters of water every day, reading 10 pages of an inspirational book every day, and then doing like a really healthy eating plan, no cheating every single day. And you've got to do this for like 70 days straight. And if you fail to do that one day, you've got to go right back to day one and start the whole thing again. So Erica, who used to do advocacy work for CFA, turned me on to that. So I'm going to be doing that with her and a bunch of other people. And then the book that I'm reading through it is called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And it's an inspirational book about resiliency and overcoming some of life's brutal challenges to come over on the other side very successful and inspirational. So that's the plan. Hopefully I'm really setting myself up to a high standard right now, but I think I've got it in me.
Awesome. Yeah. I guess you're going to have lots of people checking in to make sure you're still following now.
Well, it's a Facebook group that Erica Keesley started. And let me just hold on. I want to get it because I want to challenge every other people to do this. So Erica Keesley, if you know her on Facebook, she used to be part of CFA, and the challenge is called 75 Hard Challenge. So she's got this starting on the 16th of September. So you can join her Facebook page called the 75 Hard Challenge. And the rules are just follow a healthy diet, 2 45-minute workouts a day, take a progress picture every day, take a gallon of water every day, and 10 pages of a good read every day. So I think it's achievable. Yeah, and I think people will feel good after they do it too.
Awesome. And
I'm challenging you.
No, that's awesome. I guess my last question would be, do you have any advice for people who are considering franchising right now?
Now is a great time to franchise, and I will tell you why. Because now you have the opportunity to reevaluate what's important in your life and what you really want to do. And businesses are getting a lot of support right now. There's a lot of grants and a lot of what do you call those, incentive programs out there to help foster the creation and the sustainability of small business. So this is a perfect time to, there's loans and all kinds of things, the stimulus programs for small business, because it is, after all, the backbone of our Canadian economy. And there's a real focus on supporting people to get going or to continue growing their small businesses. And again, franchising is the best way to do that, because you're already joining an established brand with market presence and with the same like-minded goals as you. And, it's a relationship of success and prosperity, and that's, what it should be. So yeah, I think this is a perfect time, and especially for head lice franchises, no pun intended, but I'm like, Lice is going to boom after this whole social distancing ends, because people are going to be a hugging. and there's gonna be a party, and it's gonna be like a Lice freaking festival. So anyway, that's just my plug for why Lice franchises are an awesome business opportunity.
Okay. And is there anything else that you wanted to add?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty much what I want to say. And I think I just want to say to everyone out there that I am thinking about all my friends in franchising and all my fellows in small business. And I want everyone to know that that this is a time that we are all experiencing together. And I want to just throw my well wishes and support behind anyone who needs it. And I'm here for anyone who needs it. And you know, I want to just say we're all going to get through this. I know everyone says that, and that's because it's true. So I wish everyone all the best through this, and as much success.
Thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. I'm really happy to have spoken with you again and have the opportunity to get, to get some information out there. And so thank you.
Thanks for listening. For more franchising resources, including how-to articles, expert advice, franchisee success stories, and franchise opportunities, visit franchisecanada.online. You can also learn more about franchising at cfa.ca and can connect with specific franchise opportunities at lookforafranchise.ca.